Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. Listen, scream, and embrace your horror obsession. In this episode, Joseph is here to cover Skinamarink. How did COVID affect the film's production? Which cartoons are seen during the movie? And which products did not exist at the time the movie was set? If you'd like to follow us on our social medias, the links are in the description. Next week in the podcast, we cover Watcher. But until then, a movie that might have you pouring your old toys on the floor, Skinamarink. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Elazar. I'm joined again by co-host Joseph. Joseph, how's it going?
Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are.
It's definitely Monday at 6 in the morning, Joseph.
It is
some random day in the future.
Yes, it is.
And today we are covering Skinamarink 2022. It was exactly 100 minutes long because someone told the director, you need to cut that down to 100 minutes. No one's going to watch this thing for longer than 100 minutes.
Okay.
And he said it was way longer. He's like, I could do that. I could cut it down to exactly 100 minutes. So, like, to the second, it is a 100-minute film.
I don't know. Yeah, I know that was kind of one of the things, I guess one of the chief complaints is that people kind of thought it was too long. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I've trained to watch long movies. And, like, I remember going through a phase of, like, oh, it's 3 hours. Yes, I love this. Like, when I went to go watch Man on Fire, I was like, we got to be at work in the morning, but it can't be that long, can it? And then we get out. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, oh, crap. We did not sleep for work.
Yeah. Yeah. Been there.
Yeah. So this is written, directed by Kyle Edward Ball. It is starring Lucas Paul as Kevin, Dali Rose Tetrauwent. I can't pronounce that. As Callie.
Sorry, Dali.
Right. Then we have Rose Paul as dad, who was actual Kevin's real dad.
Yep.
And Jamie Hill as mom. It had a budget of only $15,000 and made $2.1 million.
And most of that budget was crowdfunded as well.
Yeah, which is pretty amazing. Like the director in the commentary said, like 3 months ago, I was making minimum wage for a tech company. And now I'm meeting famous movie stars all the time, which is kind of fun.
I hope I don't know what he's working on right now, but yeah, just definitely have your own vision, man. Don't get stuck in by producers and stuff unless you're doing somebody else's movie, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah. And I guess, he was making YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So he had like a YouTube channel that he was like experimenting with stuff. And I know he made a kind of a proof of concept, little short film called Hack. That was kind of not a prequel. I don't think it's directly related, but it's just kind of more of the same stuff that he does in Skinamarink.
To show what he can do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this movie starts, and throughout this movie, just like kind of letting people know it's all in weird angles, shot down the hall, either right on the carpet, on the floor, or on the ceiling. If two people are talking in a room, you're seeing the conversation, but your viewpoint for some reason is like if you're off in a daydream and you're staring at the top corner of the room instead of
down
looking
on
at
your feet, or
right. And it's just like you're bored by the conversation, I guess. You're just looking up in the corner. That's kind of how the viewpoint of the whole movie was.
Or maybe it's kids, so maybe like ADHD. I don't know. You're not bored, but you just can't focus. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And another thing is too, it was kind of shot in that weird time of COVID. So I'm not sure. Did you listen to the commentary? Were the kids generally when they were together, were they wearing N95 masks? Or
they must have been, because he said they had every COVID precaution that is needed, right? So when they didn't need to be next to each other, they were separated and that kind of thing. So I'm guessing they're wearing masks, which maybe led to the whole thing of all these off angles.
Yeah, there's a few scenes where you see people's faces. So that's what I thought. And for anybody that lived through it, it gives me the feels like, oh, I remember, that good 6 months where it was really like, what the fuck's going on? And
so we get our title card here that says Skinamarink, and it takes place in 1995.
Yeah, I think shortly following that, because it has 1995.
And we hear a VHS tape being put on and getting played. It's hard to kind of hear what's going on.
I'm not sure if it's a VHS tape, because I think she has like one of those little, I don't know if it's not a speak and spell. I don't know. She has like a little, like a child tape player.
Okay.
At the beginning scene, and I think you see it later on in the scene. So I'm not sure if it was that.
Tape.
Yeah, it could be a cassette tape as well. I'm not sure which
Okay.
one, but it's some kind of tape for sure.
Right. And they're sitting at the end of the hallway from where we are. Our angle is on the floor looking at them off in the distance. And they're kind of sitting in the ground in the background, way far in the frame.
Yeah. I guess now would be a good time that the film is kind of, if it's the camera, but it's very grainy. So that's why it's really hard to discern at a distance, even if it's like 5 yards away, like what exactly they're doing. So it's kind of like you're recognizing shapes, people, but it's not very like 4K high def, which lends to how the film and what kind of the film
Right.
is about.
What's interesting, I wanted to find the difference between grainy and pixelated. It's just like kind of white snow or gray static on top of the film. Everything is good quality. It's just good quality static.
Sure.
Where the director wanted to point out that a lot of people that wrote reviews saying this movie is just pixels, it's because they downloaded the bootleg that was online and he's seen it, and the bootleg is
It's
very low
pixelated.
quality and it's pixelated. So he's saying all those people that wrote reviews saying it's pixelated are giving themselves away, that they're not paying for the product and they're stealing the product.
Okay, so did he like have like a list and then send them to who? It's been a while since I've watched a DVD where it says, like this is
Right. Yeah, yeah.
prosecutable
You
by the FBI or whatever. I don't know.
right, I know. It's like you would steal a car, would you? No.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
You
why
would
would you
steal
steal a movie?
right. So I rented this from the
Support your art, there,
library.
people. Support your
Yeah,
fucking art.
completely. Completely. But I just take my kid to. Oh, Heretic. We just saw Heretic, which is
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah.
good. It was good.
I live in a small town in rural America.
They
I
won't
have
allow it
to
to
wait.
play?
Well, I have to wait till it comes to streaming, generally speaking. It's unless it's going to be a big blockbuster film
Sure.
or it's gotten enough hype that it can make it. There's really not any theater. They're basically playing all the movies made for kids and some more big budget films. We do get some every once in a while. I think quote art house or not one of the
Yeah.
major studios was, I think, Civil War was playing
Okay.
here in my theater in my town. So yeah, I would have to drive like an
Sure.
hour and a half to go to a town, or
Wow.
3
Hey.
hours potentially to a non-rural community that would have it. So yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that's yeah.
I get it. So you support your art through Blu-rays.
I mean, I wait for it to be streaming, or I can,
Okay,
yeah, I
sure.
rent it once it goes on to the rental thing. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Most
get you.
you go see a movie nowadays, it's like $10 a ticket. So for two people, it's $20. And most movies for streaming, it's $20 nowadays. So
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. We get some information about copyright. The cartoons in this were in the free domain. And also then we get a card that talks about more sad subject, as the filmmaker wants to thank the family of Joshua Buchalter. Without their kindness and understanding, this picture would not have been completed. And I looked this up. He was the AD on the movie. He did all the sound, the score, everything, and it was all on his computer when he passed away. And so the director said that he waited a respectable amount of time before he approached the family and said, like, I can do this over again, but that was the last piece of art that I know he worked on, and I like to be able to publish it so everybody knows the work that he did. And they were very happy to just hand over the laptop and let him get all the files that he made for the movie off of the laptop so they could publish the movie.
so
Which is
you mentioned a score.
so kind of.
Or does that mean like the
I just mean the
TV?
sound, the whole soundtrack of the movie, all the
The
sound,
static? Okay.
yeah, all that he got from like free use stuff. Like the static of the TV was not filmed during the filming of the movie,
Yeah.
so he found all free use stuff or things he could record on his own and put them together to be the actual soundtrack of the movie.
Gotcha.
And as there's only 2 scenes in the whole movie, one's a closet door opening that they actually filmed at the house at the time, and then one of the little boy saying what. They kept that because it felt so genuine.
Sure.
They kept it, but everything else was either recorded later in post, and he had finished putting it all together. He just didn't get the file to the director before he passed away.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. Yeah. He's like the movie. It's pretty bleak. Like
right,
sound. Everything is just kind of like pretty bare bones and kind of this is what it is.
yeah. So that was just like what a sad way to start. So back to the movie. We see the legs of a character, Kevin, running towards us, and we cut to a room with Lego on the floor. And the directors know this as well. I've watched Lego Masters. The people from the company Lego would like people to know that it's not Legos, that if you're dealing with more than one Lego, it's still Lego. The Lego is plural for Lego.
Are there any other words that have that end in?
Pokemon.
No, I
Or
mean with that vowel O, like Lego.
Oh, I don't
That
know.
that quote or plural. But I guess when you make up a word, you can, I guess, design how it is plural and everything.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. But it's just interesting. So the directors knew. I know they're Lego. They're not Legos. I thought it
Okay.
was funny in the commentary. So we get the sound of him throwing them on the floor, and the camera slowly pans to look outside this into this very dark hallway. We cut to another part of the house where it's still dark, but slightly illuminated by this TV's glow. We're focusing on a part where two walls meet with the ceiling right next to the window, which has its shades closed.
Yeah, I believe it's like a sliding glass back door or something.
Right. And then another angle of an overhead light hanging by a chain, which to me looks like it should have a cover, but it isn't. It's just like maybe the lamp shade or the chandelier shade is gone.
Yeah, and it's like
Um,
it's like the chandelier chain. It's not like a meat hook chain or anything like that. Just for
right.
the
Yeah. Then we get a shot of the fireplace with pictures on it. But of course, like we said, it's all very dark. You really have to focus on what you're watching. A lot of the time during this movie, you don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a part of the movie where it's like that's why the scenes linger because anytime I'm watching a horror movie, anything that's kind of suspenseful, thrillerish or whatever, I'm always kind of, especially on my rewatches, looking in the background like, wait, what is back there? Is there something back there? And that he's definitely playing with that, especially and the graininess just adds to that. Like, wait, you're seeing stuff move, but is it the grain or is it like something in the darkness that you can kind of barely, really roughly make a silhouette out if you turn your brightness up on your TV a lot, bright enough.
Right, which I would say is only during rewatches, because in that first time, you really wanna know what was going on, and I would say in my first time watching it, I had my oldest kid with me. We had it completely pitch black because I set up my office in this room, no windows in this room. We turn off the light, it gets pitch black, and we're watching, and there are times where I'm like, "Am I asleep?" Because it was late. I was like, "Am I asleep, or is this really happening in this movie?" And I
Hmm.
wasn't sure. I read some people say, "You gotta be high during that." I'm like, "Yeah, I would lose my job. I don't need to get high to watch a movie." But it was trippy though. It would like the experience of watching this movie. It's just like, what is going on right now?
Yeah, if you're watching it in that, I think sedate, dark environment, like yeah,
Mhm.
the ambience of it just kind of, if you're willing to, I'm sure somebody can be like already have a predisposition to hate the movie, and that won't work. But yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, I wanted to go into it embracing what the fun was for it.
Hmm.
I do talk to people that are like, it looks stupid. I watched it. It was stupid. I'm like, well, if you're going to go in with that attitude, then you're not going to like a lot of indie horror. And a lot of people say, I want something different. I'm tired of these sequels and remakes. I'm like, well, here's something different.
Different, not like this, not like this. Yeah,
Same thing. Yeah. Which
it's
is
yeah. I don't know. I mean, everybody like you have your genre that you enjoy, and that's fine. And yeah, it's kind of how it is. And you don't like this, hey, that's fine too.
right. And I did write somewhere here in the notes that I might skip over scenes if they didn't seem to be like there was nothing from the shot that I could get that was important. Then I moved on. So I might not get every single camera angle,
Oh yeah, no,
but there's a lot there, right?
yeah,
So we have a shot where we get part of a ceiling fan and more shades to the outside. We get a shot of a room looking into another door, but it's very dark. We have a shot of like a sliver of the TV, but the main focus is on the dark opening to the hallway. And then we hear the sound of this TV turning off.
yeah. So I think it's the door where you're in a room looking out of a door into like a hallway or into another room. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's like a glimmer of something being reflected, and because it's shooting up at that, is it a light at that ceiling, and that's just kind of reflecting thing? But it's just like little things like that that happen where you see something that might be something because it's not moving like the graininess of the film. So it's like something that's like a fixed point. It
Right.
could be like the glint of light off of an eye, but I don't know.
Well,
It's
right. And then we get this night light plugged into a wall socket. which I had fun during watching the commentary, which the director like humorously bitter about the reviews in the movie. They said 70% of people liked it, but they really focused on those negative reviews, but laughed about them. So he said, just for people that care, that light was not sold into the 2000s, if that matters to you, that night light. Like,
Yeah, I was reading something, and I think it's a later scene at the Legos, but they have some Legos
mhm.
that were made
Yeah.
after
The
1995,
So
and
they had a friend in the neighborhood who still had a ton of Legos, and they brought in a big bucket to use, and he had a ton because at the end they have a lot of Legos.
that
But
was yeah, me and my brother and those kids, man.
sure, yeah, yeah. We had a big bucket of Legos, and unfortunately, my parents were always helping people, right? Letting people stay in the house.
Yeah.
They were down on their luck and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And one day I found a condom used in our bucket of Legos. And
No, no!
so
Oh, no! God,
so we
sorry.
had to so we got rid of our collection and
Yeah!
had to start over,
Didn't know
which
anybody
is
with an autoclave, I guess, at that point. Oh,
right, like,
shit!
what the heck?
God!
Uh,
Oh, hey, that's man, that's just fucked
I
up
could.
that you would, like,
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I wanted to let
somebody
you know.
behind this. Oh, God.
It's disgusting, yeah. But I
Luckily,
was like,
that did
"Man."
not happen. I think my brother still has all of those Legos somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, yeah, just like crazy.
Yeah, after the fact, because we started over, right? All the Legos after the fact I've given to my children at this
Yeah,
point,
of course. Yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later about more
sure.
anachronistic stuff,
Okay.
that doesn't fit in the movie.
Yeah.
We cut to a different shelf, and then there's a closet door in a bedroom. Maybe the door's open, and inside it's very dark. We appear to be in the parents' room, and we see one of them sleeping
Hmm.
before we cut back to the bedroom door. And the camera angle shows only one side of the bed.
Yeah.
We get more shots of Lego at a different angle, which shows us more toys on the floor, at pillows picked up and then moved. We have a shot up of the top of two doors. The camera pans to the right, and we see another door. The door creaks as it's open, and we hear some small footsteps. We get Kevin sitting down in the hallway next to the nightlight, just like in the poster. We look up at the ceiling of the same hallway. So just
Hmm.
not much is happening yet. We super focus on a door, which is next to another door. We hear more footsteps. We hear that it's open. And from our angle, we see that there are blankets inside, which they pull some stuff out and then run down the hallway. We see someone sitting on top of the stairs, and we can't see their head from our camera angle on the floor, but we can see the railing that leads to the stairs going downwards. We have a shot of looking down the stairs, and we hear Kevin very quietly say, "Are you hiding?"
Imaginary friends, man. I don't know. Did you have one when you were a child, or did any of your kids have any?
I can't remember. I don't think I did.
Yeah, I don't think I
But
did. My parents never told me about. Oh yeah, you had one. I know I brought it up before, but
I think it helped that
yeah,
they had brothers,
it
you know?
is. It's very unsettling though. Like I don't know
Mhm.
when somebody is talking to something that's not there. It's just,
Yeah.
gives me the creeps.
And
Yeah.
so, what's interesting behind the scenes about this shot is that the character is a still frame. They're not live recording. They just took a picture because it was too hard on the kid to sit still. So the graininess that is always the static that's always moving sells it on the fact that it is
A
moving,
lot. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay.
even though
Interesting.
I thought it was pretty crazy. We get a different angle of the stairs and we hear Kevin counting. So they might be playing hide and seek. And then we hear a big bang, which sounds like it comes from the second floor.
Hmm.
The camera fades to black. And when it comes back, we hear Dad getting on the phone while Kevin is crying in the distance. The angles of the top corner of a wall, we get part of a lampshade, which my kid got super excited every time there was a lampshade. And I had to calm him down because he is a fan of the Amityville horrors, and I think it's the fourth movie. There's a possessed lamp. That was interesting. Um, we get many lights in the house turning on, and it appears that Dad is driven somewhere to get Kevin seen for the accident. We get a few random shots of inside the house, and we fade to black. Sometime later, where the stairs begin,
Hmm.
before we get a panning shot of different parts of the insides of the house. With the
Yeah,
lights
it kind of gives
on,
us, I think, most of the shots of the living room and some starts also the stairs
yeah,
and the bedrooms.
we hear the TV seem to turn on by itself, And we pan down to see white snow static, but we hear muffled cartoon music. Then Dad and Kevin arrive back home and the TV seems to be shut off. The camera pans to the door. We don't see them enter, but we hear their footsteps. And this makes me wonder if whatever the thing is in this movie that's causing these events, if we're seeing from its eyes.
I think it was just Kaylee watching TV.
Well, could be. I don't know. We hear Dad go into Kaylee's room, I assume just to check on her and to let her know that her brother is back. The dad goes downstairs to make a phone call and he says, so he's fine, but Kevin fell down the stairs and hit his head, which is the perfect way to tell a story to another concerned parent. Because if you start with, all right, Joshua fell down, then you're thinking all the worst things in the world.
Yeah.
Which I like that. Like, we have a rule in this house. Start with that everything is fine before you go into the chaos that just happened.
Totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the text where it's like, hey, when you get home, we need to talk, like.
Yes, the worst.
Okay, can we talk now? Like, what the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, it turns out, okay, for dinner, I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, God damn
it. Oh, man.
You had me worried the whole time. Oh, my God.
So Dad's on the phone. We don't hear the replies. He tells them that Kevin did need stitches. We change to a different area of the house where we can barely hear the conversation. He tells the person on the other end that Kaylee says that Kevin was sleepwalking. And I'm curious if we have the idea that maybe there is a separation here or the mom's working late. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe she's working late and he's talking to her at work.
Yeah, we'll get into it as we go on. I guess we can discuss that at the end after we're done with the movie and like what we think, because it's like a lot of stuff is left unclear, and I think he did that on purpose so it could mean so many different things to so many different people.
Yeah, I agree with you. We look down the hall where their window should be, and now there's a blank wall. Though I wrote, if you squint hard enough, I think I can see the outline of where the window's supposed to be.
It's a $15,000 budget. Come on, man.
Oh, no. I mean, this is the way
I'm teasing. I know.
entity wanted him to know the window should be there.
Yeah.
And then it appears again while eerie tones are played, and then it stays only for a few seconds, and it leaves, and so does the tone.
Yeah. And this happens a couple more times, different areas of the house.
Yeah, all the windows and doors just start disappearing.
Yeah.
They're calling for their dad. I thought this was interesting because I feel like instinctually kids call for mom first, but I'm not sure. Was mom not home is what I was thinking the first time watching this.
Yeah.
But we see mom later in the house.
Yes.
Yeah. Then they try to call someone on the phone, but they get this disconnected signal. They try again, only clicking 3 numbers. So I think they were trying 911, but then we get the same tone.
Yeah, and this is clearly like, I guess the next day.
I don't know.
Yeah, like it goes and they talk about sleepwalking, and then it's like, yeah, fade to black, and yeah.
We get a shot from behind the couch as they're sitting, and Kevin asks if they can sleep downstairs, which I think is relatable because anytime my kids are scared, they're like, hey, can we sleep in the living room?
Like for us, just me and my brother, like our bedrooms were upstairs and our parents' bedroom was downstairs. So it was kind of like to be closer to the parents. Though it looks like all their bedrooms are upstairs. So
yeah, I've been
different logic.
Yeah, my friend Chad's house, all the bedrooms in his house were upstairs. So, yeah. Okay. So maybe there's just fun in sleeping in the living room at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's generally a bigger room too if you have friends sleeping over or whatever. So everybody can be on the floor with sleeping bags or however it was.
Right. So they set up in the room and they have the TV on to watch some cartoons.
Yeah. So all the cartoons they use, as you previously mentioned, were in the public domain. I think they're all roughly around from the majority of them are from like the 1930s. So no characters like Disney or Warner Brothers stuff that I recognize, right?
Yeah. One of the commentary people said that one of the characters they use was the prerequisite for Bugs Bunny. Like they went from that character to another character or something
we'll get to that scene later.
Yeah, okay.
I think like the first cartoons we see, I believe it's from Somewhere in Dreamland.
Okay.
And it's images of it kind of, we'll see this as we go on, but the cartoons kind of mirror what's happening or what has been happening kind of. So this scene, they're about to go to bed, and the scene you see on there is a character kind of looks like, I'm not sure, maybe having trouble trying to sleep. They're kind of like in a bed, but they're kind of like a dog does, kind of like going in circles to trying to find a comfortable spot to sit or whatever. Most dogs just generally just do a full circle and 360 and then in the same spot.
We have the cute scene where, they tell each other goodnight and they love each other. Sometime later, Kaylee wakes up and tells Kevin that she thinks it's time to get up. It's still dark because they have no windows to the outside world, so they don't know. She just feels like, hey, we've been sleeping long enough.
Circadian rhythms, man.
Yeah. We hear them make some cereal, and then we see the mostly eaten bowl of frosted mini wheats sitting on the carpet.
That's really the only way to eat mini wheats, right?
Is on the carpet?
Oh, no, frosted. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I was like, oh, I used the table.
I used the table, dude. Jesus.
Right. No, you're not wrong. I like frosted mini wheats. I do.
Yeah.
One of them, I think it's Kaylee, says they're going to go upstairs to get some stuff. And while they're up there, we see a shot of the empty wall plug, and the camera pans down to show that the night light has fallen to the carpet.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera pans up to the door of the parents' room. Kaylee enters, calls for her dad, but doesn't get a response. She goes out and plugs in the night light before turning off the hallway light. And then she leaves. We see the night light is working the same as before. I mean, it's not really illuminating the hallway. It's really bright in one spot, but I feel like it's not lighting up anything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the effect of the movie, right? That's what they kind of did. Because it seems like it's the same brightness as before. It's not like there's darkness now in the house that's like kind of dominating the light or anything. I think it's just
And then that nightlight falls to the carpet again. So there's something faulty with the plug. Not really, but downstairs, the kids open a drawer with crayons and blank paper. They walk out of the room, and Kaylee goes to the bathroom, but the light switch in there doesn't seem to be working. We hear them clicking it a lot, but it doesn't seem to be working. And while the cartoons plays, someone's asleep, and we hear snoring.
And this part, the cartoon is also characters sleeping. I believe it's also, again, from the Somewhere in Dreamland cartoon.
Okay. Later, Kevin asks Kaylee why mom is crying, but we don't hear an answer. Then he asks why no one has come for them yet, to which she says she doesn't know. She starts to say maybe we should just, but then is cut off. We hear some thumping from upstairs. Kevin starts to ask what was that, but is cut off by a metal-sounding clink.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in the movie, the camera is showing you the same shot as you've seen before, but you have to be paying attention because we'll see the hanging light bulb with the dish shelf behind it. But this time there's a chair on the ceiling, which totally reminded me of the chairs from Poltergeist.
Yeah, definitely. It's almost kind of little scenes that are an homage to what's, great horror movies from the past. Yeah, it's just like putting yourself in that position as a child. I don't know, man. I would have already been freaking out when there's no way to fucking out of the house. I would have been crying my eyes out. Like, what the fuck is happening? And why isn't our parents helping us if they're supposedly in the house? Like, it's just, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, I think even as an adult, being trapped would just like, oh no, what? No.
And I guess since we're talking about it, it just kind of brings you up like, okay, so are they afraid of their parents? Like, why aren't they like, hey, it's been a day. I have not seen my mom and dad. Like, what is going on? I know I don't think it's exactly said how old they are at this point in the movie, but they are young.
Right.
Kevin's especially, he is, man, yeah. So, well, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm thinking if my parents were asleep, I wouldn't want to wake them up.
Sure, but if it's...
I know that I could.
But if it's been a day?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I think I feel like I know friends, though, that if I spent the night at their house, if their parents were asleep, you just didn't wake them up. You're like, no, we're not waking them up. And
yeah, I definitely had some friends' parents that, did that a lot. And yeah, they told me, just be very quiet. And then, it wasn't until later in life that I figured out, yeah.
So we cut to looking at them, and we only see the bottom of the part of their legs, and we could tell that they are staring up at the chair. Kevin whispers that they should be quiet. They keep watching cartoons, and while both whispering is often hard to hear and figure out what they're talking about.
Yeah, I guess that's what we should say too, is that I think Kevin almost entirely is always in whispers for the most part, except when he was like crying. Kaylee, I think, kind of speaks up a little bit more, but she is the older one of these siblings. But yeah, it's just kinda I don't know. I just thought that maybe they were, for some reason, scared of their parents is what this kinda gave me, like,
Mhm.
scared to wake them up for some reason, just kinda I don't know. Adds another kinda, I don't know,
Right, and
just
then
sadness, horrific part to it, I guess.
right, Kaylee asks what Kevin thinks, and he responds, "I don't know, but maybe he went with mom." So, at this point, it sounds like they think mom's not in the house,
Mhm.
even though we find out later that their mom is in the house.
If that's who it was.
Sure, yeah. Some more sleeping, and the lamp turns on, but though it's not in the frame, the camera pans and we hear something struggling to come back into existence. Closet door, either shelf or window appears. It's dark. Kevin calls for Kaylee, who was sleeping, and he tells her that she has to come see something. And we see
Mhm.
inside the bathroom that the toilet is missing. Then it reappears with that creepy music again, and then it disappears again.
Yeah, or, like, you mean the tone?
Yeah, but
Yeah, okay.
the toilet reappear for a second and then disappear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you said music, I was thinking it was just like a
Oh
just
yeah.
an
It's like
ominous
an
tone,
eerie
yeah.
tone. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this, I didn't notice this, but, during the rewatch, I'm kind of watching more closely. The tiling, when the toilet's there, it's like a normal, I don't know, tiled bathroom
Right.
floor. But then when it goes blank, to cover up, they didn't like make it more tile or whatever. So just a little minor thing I noticed.
Yeah.
Little
They might
goof
have
or
had to
whatever.
really film it in a different room, but make it look like it matched.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right. Yeah.
Kevin starts to ask where it went, and then the scene cuts off his last word, and we see them using flashlights to go upstairs. Kylie tells Kevin to hurry up using the bathroom, and then they go into Kaylee's room. We look up, we see a Barbie whose head seems to be attached to the ceiling, and she's kind of like hanging from the ceiling.
Hmm.
This makes Kylie scream and drops a flashlight, which made me jump. And you find out Kevin actually scared her, and he said he was too scared to use the restroom. Like he couldn't
Yes.
go.
And then since we already mentioned Poltergeist, it kind of gives me the Poltergeist vibes where the mom is up on the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like a woman up on the wall.
Yeah. And then I found interesting is the director's own partner didn't understand that the Barbie was on the ceiling. He
Okay.
was like, I don't get why everybody's freaking out over the Barbie being on the floor. And the director's like, no, the Barbie was on the ceiling. He's like, oh, I don't think that was clear. But we see the camera pan down.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
very clear.
it's like on the wall, then it pans up. So I thought it was clear too. But again, I think it depends on the lighting in the room you're watching in. So if there's like ambient light as well, it could maybe you wouldn't notice the right angle from the
Sure.
wall that it's on to the ceiling. And it's also in low light, and the graininess could also kind of obscure that as well. So
Yeah. And then they slide 2 buckets to where the toilet used to be, and Kevin says gross. So what they got, they each get their own bucket.
hmm.
As they watch cartoon, Kylie whispers, asking Kevin if he saw anything weird upstairs, but he doesn't know what she means.
Yeah, I think these cartoons, it's a flock of birds. There's a character throwing out seed for them, but I think they have also kind of picked up a fallen compatriot. Like there's another bird. I don't know if it's like knocked out or dead, but I think it has exits on its eyes. I
Okay.
think this is the scene where that happens. So maybe alluding to something.
Yeah. Then we have this cool city built out of Lego. I love it. Like just like I think of doing that as a kid, just building with all the living room space, feeling as much of this cool city that we're doing. So they're still trying to have fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing that always happened to me is stepping on Legos.
Sure.
I There's never a scene like that. I was waiting for a scene like where they would then like get up and like scream and then have a whole like little scare scene, but they never did that. But I was like, man, those things hurt.
It's because it's always the adults to step on them. The
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, I did a few times too, where we're like, oh god, because like, of course, why do you want to clean up stuff to make it normal to walk into your own bedroom? Doesn't make sense as a child.
Yeah. Then they're watching some cartoons and there's some shots in the hallways, and it seems like there may be something in the shadow there, but it's hard to see. We see Kylie standing, and I think she's looking down that hallway. Then a voice down the hallway says, in a very broken and creepy, says, Kaylee, followed by, come upstairs.
Yeah, and the
We see
voice is
maybe.
like distorted, almost going in and out of pitch, almost at times sounds like dual voices, like a deeper one and a higher pitched one. It's
Sure.
just Yeah, unsettling.
And we see maybe through her eyes the journey upstairs as she walks into her parents' bedroom. Inside, she sees her father sitting up in the bed. She calls to him before walking closer. The entity, or maybe her dad, tells her to look under the bed, which she does. She comes up and whispers she can't see anything. Her father tells her to look again, and she goes to check. And the time she comes up, her mom is on the other side of the bed, also sitting up.
And the
So,
dad's gone. And I was
yeah.
totally like expecting like a cheap, something creepy, especially the second time she went down there. Did not do it. Did not do it. It was just darkness under the bed. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that the dad's gone. Like, where did he go? Which I think they had a hidden cut because it looks like all in one take. But they
Okay.
had a hidden cut here to
Yeah.
make that effect better. Her mom calls to her, and then after a pause, says, "Your father and me," and is cut off by a door slamming somewhere. Kylie looks around, looks back at her mom, and her mom says, "We love you and Kevin very much." But it's extremely quiet.
Yeah. It's
You
very
wrote something here?
weird. Yeah, so it's just again, it brings up more questions than anything, of course, but their relationship with their parents and then their parents' relationship, like we love you and Kevin very much. I don't know. You could read it so many ways. My initial read was, okay, yeah, kids blame themselves when their parents get divorced sometimes. So I was
Sure.
thinking, like right there, hey, we love you guys very much. This isn't about you; it's about us. But kids don't understand, and you just want your parents to stay together. So but again, it's not clear. Maybe that's just what I read into it. Did you read any into that on like what it?
Yeah, I don't know. I was always wondered what was there. I was confused by the fact that the mom reappeared when they thought the mom was obviously not in the house the whole time.
Oh yeah,
That was
yeah.
confusing.
Something's totally going on, and dad just disappears. Like, yeah,
Yeah. And then her mom says that she needs her to close her eyes. And after a beat, she adds, "Please." When she closes her eyes, we see the screen go black, confirming that we're seeing through her eyes. When she opens them again, the mom is gone. And just to check, she looks back where her dad was earlier, and he still isn't there either. According to the subtitles, we hear a banging,
yeah,
creaking, and a subtle sob.
yes.
And then
It's
mom,
really weird, yeah, because like if you watch it without subtitles, you're just hearing sounds.
right, yeah.
But
And then the mom says, "There's someone here," before letting out a moan. And then the mom says her name again, telling her to go back downstairs. And we can't see the mom during this. Before she's able to obey, we hear a bone crack, then a soft moan while more cracking continues. And I wrote that it was hard to tell because the moan sounded kind of pleasurable, but I think the intent was supposed to be that she's in pain, but like the entity
yeah,
won't let her really display the pain.
and again, like I don't even know. We'll get into it at the end, but yeah, like it's just so it's disturbing. You
Yeah,
don't know exactly what's going on. You're hearing again these sounds that could be interpreted so many ways, but like yeah, pain or pleasure is primary too, right?
right.
And yeah, and yeah, this at this point, this is where you go, yeah, I'm not looking for mom and dad anymore because this is fucked up and weird. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would still at this point I would I'd be in a catatonic state of fear. But yeah,
Then we get a big jump scare as we get a scream and a hand comes out of the closet door and loud tone sounds before the view is cut to downstairs.
hmm
Back downstairs, she's sitting on the floor and her brother asks her where she went. And in response, she asks him to help her move the couch. And it almost looks like they moved the couch to kind of block the hallway.
I believe so. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because hey, whatever's doing, whatever's going on, surely can't move a couch. Surely.
I can't even imagine my 7-year-old moving a couch with a friend of his, much less a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Yeah, yeah.
Light from the kitchen cuts off and they grab a flashlight to turn it on, but the switch doesn't work. And the sound that was made when it went off makes me think that the light has just gone out. But since they're already in the kitchen, they pull a chair over and open the cabinets to get some snacks and some juice boxes.
Hell yeah, juice boxes.
Kevin again asks what's happened upstairs, but she doesn't tell him. We hear heavy breathing down the hallway and a voice calls for Kaylee again. We see a light come down the hallway, and Kevin calls out for her. So she seems to have to follow the entity. After calling out a few more times, Kevin puts on a new VHS tape.
Yes.
This cartoon is about a woman named Hubbard and her dog, and how there's no food in the cupboard.
So, old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give her poor dog a bone. The bone part, and when you have the subtitles on, it's bones cracking. I might be reaching there, but yeah, it's just, or it might signify that, hey, there ain't much left as far as food.
They'll run
Kitchen.
out eventually, yeah.
They'll definitely run out eventually. So maybe it's alluding to the future. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, yeah. Once you realize it's bones cracking, is what you're hearing. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
oh no.
While this is playing, Kevin goes to pee in his bucket. Then Kevin falls asleep, and while he's asleep, the view pans up to the VCR, which disappears, but the cartoon doesn't stop playing.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the toys are being dragged along the carpet. Then, just like the Barbie and the chair before it, stuff starts sticking to the wall and ceiling, including a VHS tape and some of their toys.
Yeah, Lego pieces, little like Hot Wheel like cars and stuff.
Yeah. Then the entity calls for Kevin and tells him to come to the basement. We watch through his eyes as he travels to the basement. Down there, Kylie is very quiet. She quietly calls for Kevin and then says she is scared and she feels strange. Then another jump scare, and then the sounds get really loud here. We see that Kaylee no longer has a mouth or eyes. Naturally, Kevin runs back upstairs and is breathing heavily.
Yeah, I would do the same thing, except I wouldn't have gone down to the fucking basement to begin with, man. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Even if for like the voice is fucking creepy, maybe it sounds different in his ears, but yeah, no.
I mean, at some point, you don't have much of a choice, and there's nothing to do anymore.
Yeah. It's God. Yeah.
A cartoon plays showing a character trying to get out of a building, and each time he opens a door, another door is opened behind it, and there's no escape.
I think you said it right there, man. There is no escape. I think that is, yeah, kind of what's his lot in life at this point. Poor little guy.
Toys are moving around again. I think Kevin is playing with them. The entity calls for Kevin, and when he responds to it, it tells him to sleep. Kevin seems to fall asleep on the floor. It passes out.
We have magical powers.
Right, yeah. We have a moment when time seems to freeze and then rewind, and we see through the cartoon that the stuffed animal snake disappears. More toys are disappearing. I think Kevin wakes up and starts drinking the juice box. Then he dumps more toys on the floor because I guess some of them are gone or stuck to the wall.
Yeah, and I don't know if because it seemed like when we saw that he was sleeping when stuff started going into the wall, right?
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you even noticed. I mean, all kinds of fucked up things are happening here at this point. So maybe he's like, it's my new normal. I don't know.
Just get more toys.
I'm only a 4-year-old boy. I can't handle this shit, dude.
Yeah. The entity tells Kevin it wants to play. Kevin just keeps playing with his toys. So it says it again a little louder. I think Kevin thought, well, I'm playing. Just join me playing with the toys.
Yeah, either that or trying to ignore what can't ignore, but yeah, trying your best, I guess.
And then we see some more time looping again as a bunny character on screen seems to be doing a disappearing magic trick, but it just keeps looping over again.
Yeah, this is from Presto Changeo, 1939. And yeah, I think that references the toilet in and out, the windows in and out, door, obviously, just everything is disappearing. The toys, the VCR, like, what the hell's happening?
And then there's a time when the screen seems to pause. We see Kevin sitting and breathing hard. I wrote, unless that was Kaylee, who's somehow still alive. And then the music of the cartoon starts up again. The entity calls for Kevin again, but this time Kevin whimpers.
Yeah, I think it's just Kevin at this point. Because, I mean, again, she doesn't have a mouth.
Right.
So kind of a prerequisite, right? So breathing hard, I guess. I don't know. I can't remember. Did she have a nose? She had a nose, though. I guess she could have been breathing through her nose. Never mind.
No, but I think you're right. But there's a couple of times where, I mean, he could bring anybody back anytime he wants, apparently. That's what we're assuming.
I mean, I like how you give it a masculine,
I don't know.
entities could
It's
be feminine.
creepy voice. Yeah, that's true.
Could
But
be
the voice,
non-gendered too, like, who knows?
you're not incorrect. Okay. I don't know. It doesn't sound feminine, but that's just me.
Well, like, again, like, if you listen to it again, like, there's, like a deeper tone and also a high-pitched tone, like, there's almost dual
Okay.
voices in the same line, it seems like to me. It could be just the distortion, but yeah.
Sure. So according to the subtitles, we hear a utility knife open, and then the entity
Ah,
tells him to put it in his eye.
god damn, yeah. Yeah, and he fucking obeys.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see that, obviously, it doesn't get that gory, but we see the aftermath, if you can please
Yeah,
describe that, sir.
we could see some blood like hit like the cabinets, I think. Yeah.
A decent, yeah, spray out, so not just, like, dripping blood, it's just like, god damn. So, again, you don't really get much shots of their face, especially straight on, so, yeah, I guess he's walking around with one eye. Future
After a couple
pirate!
but after a couple of frames, we're back to weird camera angles where we can't see anything much, and we hear him crying in the distance. Then we cut to him crying louder, then away again very quickly.
Yeah.
We do see the cabinet doors with blood on it. Sometime later, the entity is commanding Kevin to wake up, and he does so with some irregular breathing. We have some weird stuff going on the TV, and it appears like the image is fighting to stay full screen, and it's being sucked away from like the back, from the edges, like it's shrinking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird.
and it's kinda, like, yeah, distorted more as well, so
While Kevin has obviously been scared for some time, his breathing gets heavy as if he's worried what's going to happen next.
again, I've already said
Yeah.
it, I'll say it again, I would've been crying at this point, probably curled up in a fetal position now. Yeah. Kudos to him, he's not really crying anymore except when he stabs himself in the eye, like,
No.
ugh.
The phone is knocked off the hook and we hear the dial tone. This time Kevin calls 911 and he's able to reach them. He tells them that he hurt himself and he feels sick. They ask if anyone is there with him. They ask how he was hurt. We don't hear his response, but we hear them ask back, "You got cut with a knife and now you feel sick?" They ask how old he is, and then we hear them say, "Did you say 4?"
Yeah.
And then they're trying to be like, "Okay, be brave, little guy." He agrees to stay on the phone with them. They ask if his mom and dad are home, but he says no. And it goes on for a little bit. She's saying someone's going to go there. He tries to tell them that the doors are gone. The phone drops to the floor eventually here.
Yeah.
He turns on a flashlight, and this is the first time we see the now famous meme of this Fisher Price Chatterer toy, which I totally had as a kid.
Okay.
And the house phone was changed into this toy phone, which I did not get in the first viewing. That is what happened.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just goes to, I think Kevin was not talking to anybody on the outside, I think he was talking to his new buddy, the entity.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
guess
Like
that's what we'll refer to. Yeah, like, yeah,
it's
uh,
possible that the entity let him call, but nothing's going to come from it.
sure.
I think he's just letting him have a glimmer of hope before destroying any of that hope
Again,
again.
yeah, just kinda like, yeah. I don't know, it's like you're, like, fucking with somebody who doesn't understand. He's again, a 4-year-old child does not
Sure.
have the brain capacity to understand being
Yeah.
fucked with, like, in this way, like,
So the kid says to the entity, "You did that." And we hear some distorted laughter, which is creepy.
mhm.
We see some more toys on the ceiling, and the entity calls for Kevin. For some reason, now the static intensifies and grows louder. We see Kevin sitting on the floor, and as he turns to ask the entity, "How did you do that?" It responds, "I could do anything." Kaylee didn't do as she was told. She said she wanted her mom and dad, so I took her mouth away.
Yeah, I don't know what the loud static part, yeah, I got no clue, just I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's weird, odd.
Then the entity tells Kevin to come upstairs. Kevin uses a flashlight to do so, and while up there, starts to cry. The entity tells him, "It's okay. I will protect you." And somehow I do not believe it.
Me neither.
We see Kevin is standing on the ceiling which makes him pause. The entity tells him to keep going, so he enters the room at the end of the hall, which is very dark. Kevin asks if he can go back now. According to the subtitles, we hear faint animal calls echoing and low growls in the distance.
Yeah. So the room he goes into, that's his mom and dad's room, correct?
I don't know. I thought it was because I thought theirs was in the hallway and there was another room down the hallway,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's unclear.
Then we see a massive amount of toys stockpiled on the ceiling. Maybe.
Yeah, I assume he's still on the ceiling. I think it's on the ceiling now.
Then the title card appears, which reads 572 days. And that's just crazy.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, you don't know exactly what it means.
Yeah.
That's over a year and a half. So, yeah.
What an existence.
Yeah, I guess we'll kind of. Yeah, there's a scene later. We'll discuss maybe what this means, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. Cartoon music comes in and a character is singing, I don't have to worry, I don't have to care. The camera backs up to show a pile of toys growing. Then it continues to back up in steps that show the hallway is extremely long.
Yeah.
Like The Shining.
Yeah.
We do see a shot of Kaylee sitting next to a knocked over lamp, and then she slowly fades away into non-existence, and we hear some crying.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine coming up from the basement with no eyes, kind of a feat. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. The fading in and out. I mean, obviously, anybody's interpretation could be correct. So yeah.
Yeah. We see a shot where we're looking from the floor, but we're looking upside down, but then it goes back. The next thing we see is the house from the outside, which seems to be somewhere alone in its own universe with a faint blue light on it, but nothing else around it.
Yeah, pretty eerie. Ugh.
Yeah. Back inside, the flashlight clicks. Then in the blacks, we see some googly eyes. The flashlight turns to illuminate the Fisher Price Chatter toy, which of course rings extremely loudly for a jump scare.
Okay, so I don't remember, but like if it rings, do the eyes move, or is that something that they did for the effect of the movie?
I feel like the eyes moved all the time, like anytime it moved.
Okay, so like the actual toy's eyes
I
are
think
supposed
so.
to. Okay. Yeah. It's creepy when it looks at him like straight on.
Yeah.
Like, no. Ugh.
We hear some whispers, but not what it says. We get some disturbing random still frames as if a projector is putting them on. And while I cannot make them all out, I'm going to cover some of them.
Yeah, and these are all pictures that we saw. I don't think you mentioned it, but they are like early in the movie. It kind of when you see some of the pictures on the wall where the camera's looking, you
Okay.
do see some of these pictures, and they're normal
Okay.
then. Now they're not normal.
Sure.
Go on.
One is of a white porcelain little girl. One looks like a little child reading a book with no head, or the head is translucent because we see the arm on the couch. Behind it is a missing piece. So maybe the head's sort of there. It's hard to see. A shot of a child dancing, also no head, and it's also blacked out where the head should be. A baby in a high chair laying back with no head. So yeah, a lot of disturbing shots.
Yeah, there's also another one that has like I think it has a head but no facial features.
Kevin seems to be crying, and then we see blood hit the carpet from an upside down camera angle in the corner of an intersection in the hallway. A loud scream, a loud scream as way more blood appears on top of it, and then time rewinds, and then there's just a little bit of blood on the carpet. Then the scene replays and then goes away.
And again, if you listen to it on the subtitles, the second time it happens, it says it's an older voice.
Yeah.
Like Kevin's been here maybe longer than 572 days at this point. I don't know. Yeah, I think at this point it's really hard to tell what's exactly going on, but I don't know. Again, it's the subtitles. I didn't get it the first time because I didn't watch it with subtitles the first time. So
Right.
yeah, it's just kind of little things that.
And I did think I
subtitles
heard a
don't-
different voice, but my interpretation from what I heard, I thought he brought Kaylee to torture as like a present to Kevin Like, here, let me watch me torture your sister.
No.
Uh,
Oh
right.
man. Ugh.
Um, but the entity laughs
Mm.
and laughs more as this thing is repeated. And when it disappears, we hear someone crying "mommy," which is freaking creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin turns on a flashlight and is looking around, calls out for Kaylee. So that's why I thought maybe it was killing Kaylee over and over again.
Yeah. Again, who knows? Because you don't see who is getting
Yeah.
hurt. It's kind of like right around the corner as the blood is kind of being spilled out onto the corner. And again, you don't even know if it's they're on the ceiling or on the floor at this point too.
Yeah.
It's just like this is I don't know what's happening at this point. I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah. We see the door that seems to be existing with nothing around it. And then it slowly blinks closer to our viewpoint for some reason. In the extremely dark static, we can see what looks like the shape of a face. The entity says, "Go to sleep." Then Kevin asks the entity, "What's your name?" And it seems like the entity just repeats the question back before its face vanishes into the static.
Yeah.
Then we get a title card that says "The End" and not very much credits.
I mean, 4 actors, somebody doing a creepy voice. Maybe it's the actors themselves. I don't know if that was listed in the credits on who did the voice
Yeah, I don't
of
know.
the entity. But yeah, that was Skinamarink. Ugh, just very unsettling. Again, not super gory. There's a little bit. Did
Yeah.
you mention that this movie's not rated?
Oh, I didn't. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not
that's
rated because
interesting.
it's like it's crazy. No.
Well, yeah, and rating boards, they'll never tell you, like, if you were to go get rating and let's say they say put it in C-17, they don't tell you why it's in C-17, what to take out. They make you guess.
Yeah, because it's kind of like, like PG-13, what it might have some quote coarse language, not like explicit, but
Yeah,
and then yeah, rated R, you can have pretty much everything within
to a
means
point.
to a point.
Yeah,
And it's like I don't even know. Like Europe, I know it's different criteria.
sure.
Yeah, like, and I guess it's like social standards, I guess, for what is socially acceptable for American versus European films and Japanese films and any other
Yeah,
country
where
that has films where like what is socially acceptable, where obviously more
what's also
risque
interesting,
sex scenes is fine in America and violence is generally fine in America, but yeah.
what's interesting about Britain is they will redo movies like 20 years after the fact and they'll lower the rating. Whereas when a movie here gets a rating, it always has that rating.
Interesting. Yeah, because I know, God, I think it's yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark was PG, but
Sure.
I think that was before PG-13 existed. I think it clearly would have been. I think that would have been NC-17. Had they had that. I'm kidding.
What? I was
I'm
like, what?
kidding. What kind of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade are you watching, man?
You watched the bootleg. This
The
is
bootleg.
not an Indiana Jones of the
It
Last
was like,
Crusade.
yeah, some
The
weird
porn
stuff,
version.
man. Yeah, yeah. No, but I
That's
mean, yeah,
funny.
it clearly would have been PG-13 versus that. And maybe Temple of Doom would have been, I don't know, R for the blatant racism that movie has. God.
Sure.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's
that's
hard to
not
judge a
Indiana Jones.
movie at a time.
I know. But even that, Jesus Christ. Indian people don't eat monkey brains and eyeball soup. Like that's the thing?
It's the Cantonese people, right?
Oh, I ain't going there.
No, it's
Jesus.
in Clue. In the movie Clue, he's like,
Oh,
and
it's been a while.
while monkeys' brains might be a staple in Cantonese cuisine, it's rarely seen in people of, like.
You're ruining another beloved movie for me.
What? Wait. I mean, but aren't there places in the world that do eat monkeys' brains as a delicacy?
I don't think so.
You
I
really?
don't know. I mean, why? Okay, let's see. Let's look this up. Okay, it's
It's may have been part to believe that monkeys' brains were used in Asian cuisine. Oh, but that's not. That's like legend. That's not necessarily true.
okay. I got Wikipedia up here. A dish called mulgas, brain of cow, goat. No. All right, new nightmare. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking of prions now and mad cow disease and all other
Yeah,
kinds
there's a
of
section called health risks.
yeah, yeah. Prions are yeah.
Yeah.
A
Okay,
future
moving on.
movie about prion people. I don't know. Sorry, totally out of context now at this point, but have you ever seen like the deer with or the cow with mad cow disease? And the
No.
deer have their own kind as well as lambs or goats. Yeah, it's all pretty messed up. I mean, yeah. Anyways, all right. So yeah, you want to talk about thoughts, feelings?
Yeah. So
Okay.
for me, the whole time I was watching, I was reminded of Q from The Next Generation. It's this entity with godlike powers that could do anything it wants in the universe, and now it's bored.
I did
Um,
not think Q, but yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I watch all that stuff, and yeah, you're right. I thought of the classic Twilight Zone episode, "It's a Good Life," where the little kid seemingly is in his house with all these random adults, and they're all fearing him because
mhm.
he can do whatever he wants and make whatever he wants happen. So
He does also take a mouth away from somebody, right?
he does, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think it's a little homage there
Homage.
too.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, you watch the commentary. Do you have anything to add there?
There's definitely some things I wanted to talk about, but let me kind of nitpick.
Okay. While you're doing that, I will say, like, yeah, I don't just how it made the viewer feel small. And I don't know
Yeah.
if they talked about like, did they have this crazy contortionist cameraman that could get that angle, or do they just kind of have it up?
Okay. They
Most of them are
did
kind
talk
of,
about
oh, okay,
they, they did talk about this. So a lot of people think that he built a camera rig to film on the ceiling, and he just held the camera. He's like, ceilings aren't as tall as you think they are, at
no,
least not in my house. He didn't even need a step ladder. He just held the camera up against the ceiling and angled it correctly, and it gave us this shot as if the world was upside down,
gotcha.
which is what he used for it. He also,
But like when
just
he was like doing it from the ground, was he just kind of had it there and kind of
yeah, he just held the camera on the ground at a weird angle, and he just did it. And some of them,
dangerous, man? Like, ah, yeah.
and then a lot of the shots, like the shot of the chair, someone else is holding the camera and he's literally holding the chair. They take a picture and
Edit him
it's
out.
not, and they edit him out of the picture and then add static, which is motion like, so
Yeah.
that it gives the feel that this is a feed of footage,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like
which I
that.
think
That's
is pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
I also liked they filmed the movie in just 7 days of about 6 to 8 hours every day. So it was
And
like
it's
the one of
his oh, go ahead.
it's his parents' house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
That's
his
what that's
childhood home, so
yeah.
it's still there. The kitchen had a lot of upgrades, like, or it has been modernized, redone, so he
Okay.
avoided shooting shots of the most of the kitchen. That's why he focused only on the ceiling of the kitchen or the floor of the kitchen. He said that the light switches were also very modern, so he tried to avoid actually filming those, and we just heard light switches coming on and off rather than actually seeing them. I thought it was kind of cool. They focused a lot on the reviews that were going on. So even though he said like 70% of people love this movie, he kind of focused on the negatives a lot, but it was funny. He was embracing it. He said that the New Yorker didn't like the movie, but the New York Times and the Rolling Stones did. So he was like, so they're New Yorker, like. Then he said that a Boston newspaper, it wasn't the Boston Globe, had a review that said Skinamarink was quote unquote nothing. And he called the other person working on the film with him. He was so happy. He's like, "We did it. We made Seinfeld the movie. We made a movie about nothing." And then they went into some really good impersonations of different Seinfeld characters, which I cannot recreate, but they did a really
Okay.
good job
Okay.
of. There was a scene where the kids were supposed to hug each other, but even the parents couldn't convince the kids to hug each other since they're not really brother and sister. They thought it was really weird, but I can't think of it at the age of 4 or 6 that I would. I guess I come from a more huggy family.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally yeah. Some people and levels of affection are just so
Yeah.
bizarre. Like, yeah, I remember I had a friend, God, man, and his family just didn't really hug. like his grandparents did after meeting them, but like it was just really weird that, my parents would want to hug him and he
Yeah.
just was weirded out by it. And yeah, I was just like, oh man, your parents just aren't as affectionate as mine, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, yeah. It's just
We
yeah, but yeah, there's definitely different cultures, different upbringings that yeah makes it weird. So who knows? Yeah.
other things, they kept saying that there was a couple flies that made it into the movie, and the director started off really believing that that's not true. Where there's an angle in the very beginning, he's like, that is not a fly, that is a nail where a picture used to hang that is on the ceiling. And then later on the movie, when they're bunkered down in the living room and they're looking into the kitchen at a high angle, he sees a fly there. He's like, is that a fly? I've edited this movie for who knows how many hundreds of hours. I never noticed that fly. Damn it, there is a fly in there. And then he was very passionate about how people found out that the orange Lego separator was not out for a couple of years until like after these events, maybe even 5 years after the events of this movie. And so he kept pointing out every time, he's like, every freaking shot of the Lego has this Lego orange separator in it. And the very end shot of all the toys, like the massive amount of toys in the hallway, on the far left of the screen, he could see that Lego separator and just like bugs him that it's still there.
My
And
immersion. Ah.
they did
um.
they
Okay.
did say that they referenced the Twilight Zone movie. They also talked about an X-Files episode where this doll would tell people I want to play, and other things that they kind of, pulled from. What were you
I
going to
mean,
say?
you've already talked about Chucky, so yeah, we all know dolls are freaking creepy. So yeah, I was just gonna go. I know I missed some of the cartoons, but there was one scene of a cartoon kind of after kind of some of the sleep scenes of like somewhere in Dreamland. I believe this one's from a Cobweb Hotel or the Cobweb Hotel, where it has two cartoon flies struggling as the villain of the cartoon, a big spider obviously is coming there, so it kind of alludes to they're caught in a web of sorts. And then the other one has they actually play a lot of it. I think they first turn it on, I believe it's the opening title to Balloon Land, which I watched on another little YouTube clip from a podcast. They kind of started making a YouTube series that didn't really go very far, but they basically, I think it's called Trash Tunes, and they would watch like old cartoons. You would see the horrible racism that was like in children's cartoons, Like, yeah, I know that one has one, but they don't play that obviously in the movie. They have the Pincushion Man is who's talking. I don't know if you see him on screen, but you hear his voice, which kind of maybe alludes to stab your eye. Oh, now I don't know, eviscerate yourself and around a corner. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
not sure, but yeah, just a couple little things I meant to say earlier, but yeah, and you said yeah, 7 days to film the movie
Yeah,
is.
I mean, forever to edit though.
Oh yeah,
But
oh
yeah.
yeah.
That another thing is that people complained that the blood was so fake. And they're like, that was we did that practically. He's like, I was so worried we stained the carpet and we got it on our camera, our expensive camera, and I was freaking out that this blood we used was really going to damage things. And people were saying the blood was so fake.
Again, they were probably watching the bootleg. It
Yep.
was definitely serviceable. It's low light conditions, so it's not supposed to be like crimson red. It's yeah. Things look weird when there's less light. So yeah.
Do you want to talk about any other theories? We kind of alluded to them as we went.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many. And again, I think as from some interviews I've read of him since the movie came out, it's like I think he definitely wants it to be kind of open to anybody's interpretation, really,
Right.
because it could be anything, depending on your religion, it could be a demon or whatever kind of evil entities there are in other religions. I was thinking, I don't know, I read this one and I kind of felt like maybe Kevin wasn't okay after the fall down the stairs. Like it's like somewhere I think at that point that's when obviously things go weird, super weird, I guess,
Yeah.
Bizarro Land. But like, yeah, maybe he is in a coma or already dead and this is like his afterlife, but I don't know, that goes into religious stuff and it's like how bad did a 4-year-old have to have this be his afterlife? It's kind of a messed up thought. Like, I think I read something where somebody was saying, like, yeah, it's him in a coma and he survived for 572 days, but the movie goes on after it says 572. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just, there's so many ways you can read into it. Again, we can read in, like, I don't know, darker stuff, I don't want to put it out there, but yeah, like just other trauma, abuse, other stuff that you could read in so many different ways.
Right. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you like to follow us on Instagram, we're at Nightmare Echoes Pod. We're also on Threads under the same name. If you like what you heard, please give us a 5-star review. Thank you, Joseph, for being here today.
Thanks for having me again, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, next week on the podcast, Jesse's here as we're going to cover The Watcher 2022 with Micah Monroe. So I'm excited about that one.
All right.
Hope you hear us that time. Bye.
All right. See ya. Yeah, there's also another one that has, like, I think it has a head but no facial features, not facial feathers.
I was like, what was that? Because you wrote these notes pretty late at night, and I'm like,
I did.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what is a facial feather?
Yeah. Damn autocorrect.
Right,
Damn AI.